Rain threatened that afternoon in Okearo. The clouds hung low, and the scent of wet dust filled the air. Detective Tunde Ajala sat by his desk in the small police post, turning the gold earring in his hand, Mama Risi's. He'd cleaned it carefully. Now it gleamed faintly in the weak light. He didn't hear the knock at first. Then a voice, soft but firm. "Excuse me, sir. I'm looking for Detective Ajala." He looked up. A young woman stood at the door, dressed in a simple Ankara gown. Her eyes were red from travel and sleeplessness, but they burned with purpose. "I'm Tola, Mama Risi's daughter." Tunde rose slowly. "You came from Ibadan, right?" She nodded. "They called me yesterday. They said Mama's missing, but nobody will tell me the truth. What have you found?" Tunde gestured to a chair. "Sit. I'm doing everything I can. Your mother's trail led to the river, and possibly the palace." Tola's hands clenched. "The palace? You mean Chief Odabi's place? Mama cooked there often, but she hated those late-night visits. She told me once that she wanted to stop going, but she hesitated. But she said she was afraid." "Afraid of what?" Tola looked around nervously. "She didn't say, just that these men think they can do anything because they wear white. I thought she meant the chiefs." Tunde scribbled a note. "When did you last speak with her?" "2 nights before she disappeared. She said something strange. She said, 'Tola, if anything happens, check my red box under the bed.'" Tunde's head lifted. "You still have access to her room?" "Yes," she replied. "They sealed it, but Aisha has the spare key." That evening, back at Mama Risi's room, the rain had started, drumming softly on the zinc roofs as Tunde and Tola pushed open the creaking door to the small room behind the market. The air was heavy with the smell of smoke and old food. They found the red box under the bed, dusty and locked with a small brass latch. Tunde used his mind knife to pry it open. Inside were folded papers, an old necklace, and a black nylon bag filled with cash, crisp notes tied in bundles. Tola gasped. "Mama never had this kind of money. Where did she get it?" Beneath the money was a notebook. The first few pages were blank, but halfway through, names appeared, written in Mama Risi's familiar handwriting. Tunde read aloud. "Chief Odabi, Councillor Jide, Inspector Falade, 200,000 naira, 150,000 naira. He flipped further. Each page listed dates, amounts, and initials, a record of bribes. He whistled softly. "Your mother was keeping records of corruption money." Tola's face twisted in disbelief. "But why? She wasn't part of them." Tunde nodded slowly. "No, I think she was documenting it, maybe to protect herself, maybe to expose them later." At the back of the notebook, one line stood out, written shakily. "They said I know too much. If I don't deliver tonight, they will silence me." A heavy silence filled the room. The rain outside grew harder, thunder rolling like drums of warning. Tunde closed the notebook. "Tola, your mother didn't just vanish, she was silenced." As they left the market, Tunde noticed someone standing across the street, half hidden behind a tree, a tall man in a white agbada, watching them. The man turned and disappeared into the darkness before Tunde could reach him. But the glint of gold on his wrist was unmistakable, the same kind of bracelet Chief Odabi wore at the palace. Tunde's heart sank. He finally knew what kind of enemy he was up against, and he wasn't sure if Okeara was ready for the truth. The next morning, Okeara woke under heavy clouds and thicker whispers. Word of Detective Tunde's discovery spread fast, though no one admitted to spreading it. The market was quiet. Women sold in low dawns, eyes darting toward the palace. Tunde knew the silence meant danger. He met Officer Bamidele near the station, the young man's eyes darting nervously. "Sir," Bamidele said in a low voice, "I heard they plan to call you before the Elders' Council today. The chief says you're disturbing peace with city-style investigation." Tunde smiled faintly. If the truth disturbs peace, maybe the peace was never real. He slipped the red notebook into his inner pocket. The evidence was too risky to leave behind. Later, the palace courtyard. Drummers played lazily as the elders gathered under the mango tree. The air was thick with palm wine and unspoken tension. Chief Odabi, dressed in spotless white, sat on his carved chair, calm, composed, but with eyes that could cut glass. When Tunde entered, murmurs ran through the crowd. He bowed slightly. "Detective Ajala," the chief said smoothly, "you've been walking the market like a spirit hunter. Do you have any results to show?" Tunde Stone stayed respectful. "Only questions, sir, and one of them leads to this palace." A ripple of shock moved through the crowd. The chief's smile stiffened. "Mind your words." Tunde nodded and held up the gold earring. "This was found by the river path, near where the footprints ended. Mama Risi's earring. And under your chair yesterday, I saw a calabash with this same market." He drew the charcoal circle on the ground, the same symbol drawn on her stall wall. The chief shifted slightly. You think I killed her? You forget yourself. No, sir, Tunde said quietly, but I think someone close to you did, and you're protecting them. Gasps filled the courtyard. One of the elders banged his walking stick. Detective, be careful what you say in the presence of our king. Tunde looked around. If truth offends royalty, then maybe royalty has offended truth. The chief rose, voice calm but trembling underneath. Enough, leave this palace, Ajala, before you join the woman you seek. Tunde bowed slightly again. As you wish, sir, but the earth doesn't swallow blood forever. It speaks, even from underwater. He turned to go, but caught a movement near the back gate. Kunli, the palm oil seller, slipping away quietly with a bundle. Tunde's instinct screamed. He followed. Behind the palace, the bamboo grove. The rain had returned, light but steady. Kunli walked fast through the grove, unaware of the shadow following him. When Tunde Funde's gun holstered, his voice was calm. Kunli, going somewhere? The young man froze, eyes wild. The bundle fell open, revealing a blood-stained cloth and a small calabash similar to the one at the palace. Sir, please, I didn't mean to. Talk, Tunde ordered. Now. Kunli dropped to his knees, trembling. It was the chief's driver, sir. He said Mama saw them counting money that night. She wanted to talk. They told me to take her to the river to scare her. But she fought, she screamed. The driver hit her with the calabash. I swear, I didn't mean for her to die. Tunde's voice dropped. Where is her body? Kunli's voice broke. Buried near the riverbank, under the big Arico. The rain fell harder, washing away his tears. Tunde's face was stone. You'll take me there, tonight. That night, by the riverbank. Under the ghostly glow of the moon, Tunde and two trusted officers dug where Kunli pointed. After a few minutes, the spade hit something soft. Cloth, bones, the smell of final truth. Tunde knelt silently. Mama Risi had been found. He turned to Kunli. From now, every lie you tell digs your own grave. Speak truthfully, and maybe you'll still breathe tomorrow. Kunli nodded weakly, whispering prayers. Tunde stood, rain soaking his shirt, eyes blazing. Tomorrow, I'll return to the palace. This time not with questions, but with proof. As thunder rolled across the hills, it felt as though Okearo itself was preparing for a reckoning.